The story of my imperfect health began in 1979. When I was 16, I was diagnosed with congenital heart disease called subaortic stenosis. For 11 years, I was on an annual follow-up in the Heart Institute to examine the development of the disease. Finally, at the age of 26, after damage to the aortic valve was observed, I underwent heart surgery. The experts expected that around the age of 50, I would have to undergo another surgery to replace the aortic valve. That is due to damage caused during the 26 years I lived with the congenital heart disease. 8 years after the surgery, when I was 34 years old, my cardiologist diagnosed two heart diseases, high blood pressure and angina pectoris. The cardiologist wanted me to start medication immediately. But before I became addicted to medication for the rest of my life, first I wanted to see if there was another way to treat the diseases. 2 years later, after trying several alternative methods, I went back for another test. The cardiologist did not understand why I insisted not taking the medication. He thought I was walking time bomb. But then I came across an article about a lifestyle that can be beneficial for heart diseases, and a medicinal plant that is known for its great contribution to the health of the heart. The article was written in the 1970s by one of the pioneers of natural medicine in the United States, Dr. John Christopher. I immediately decided to study and I applied his method. 3 months later, I felt completely different. I felt I must tell the world about the dramatic physical change I experienced. 9 months after I started my new health regime, I climbed the top of the cliff in Metzada in just 18 minutes. After that, I appeared in the Israeli newspapers and on television. The terror attack of 9/11 on New York and Washington, D.C. motivated me to carry the flag for 26 long miles in the Detroit Marathon. Let's take a short look.
Local 4, America Strikes Back.
Now we've seen that patriotism is alive and well here in Metro Detroit, with flags flying from homes, cars, even pinned on clothing.
And Local 4's Paula Tutman introduces us to Ultimate Patriot, who will carry the flag by himself for 26 long miles.
What we're facing as Americans right now can bring out the best in us and the worst in us. It can show our strengths and our weaknesses. And for one local man who was born with a damaged heart, it is showing truly how much heart he really has, as he literally puts his best foot forward to help bring up the morale of his countrymen. 38-year-old Yair Rubin is in training as a power walker, and that in itself is a feat. He's a former heart patient, has had open heart surgery, had his share of doom and gloom from physicians, and decided not to play along with the hand that was dealt him. That said, he refuses to allow what's happening to America to break his salvaged heart.
I think everybody needs extra support in any way. If I'm going to walk the marathon, why not to do it with a flag?
For the Detroit International Marathon, he will carry a flag.
To see a man walking down the street with a flag participating in the marathon, I think it would be a great event for all of us.
A lot of red, white, and blue out here in Detroit today. A lot of marathon runners telling me they were inspired by something much deeper this year. Signs of patriotism virtually everywhere along the 26-mile course. And remember this man, Yair Reuven? We first introduced you to him a few days ago while he was gearing up for his power walk with an American flag strapped to his waist and his head.
Wow, how can I say how was it? I mean, it was incredible.
But tough, the wind whipping his flag, making his 26-mile power walk even tougher.
Because it was so windy. Now, in the flag, yeah, so now I don't have just to race for myself, also for the flag.
A year later, I left the US and started a long journey in one of the most stressful countries in the Western world, Israel. There, I opened a clinic and advised my customers on curing chronic diseases. I knew how to heal the physical body, but for some reason, I felt I was missing something because my clients and I were not happy with our life. 15 years later, I returned home to the United States. Then I wrote the thesis, The Guide for Health and Happiness. That led me to develop a practical course to freedom from common addictions. In the past 25 years, and after helping thousands of customers, I have learned that we are much different from one another. I learned that treating different people with the same disease may help some of them, but not all of them. I also learned that the origin of many chronic diseases did not come from genetics acquired from parents, but from lifestyle and the environment we live in. However, in the 15 years I was overseas, I observed a phenomenon where once the people in Israel were considered active and healthy, in 2 decades they tend to be fat, lazy, and ignorant as the rest of the modern world. My observation was addiction, mainly to food. Therefore, my vision for your healthier future has 2 folds. 1. Teaching you how most acute and chronic diseases develop from lifestyle and the environment, and how to change them. Number 2. Set yourself to freedom from common addiction, which is the underlying reason why most chronic diseases start in the mid-age. It really doesn't matter if you are a follower of science and do what your doctor says. There are some universal laws of principle that apply to the entire animal kingdom as well as us. I think you want to know about them because, after all, one day you too may want to know why people get sick. That's why I would love if you follow my educational program. Thank you very much. May God bless you. Bye-bye.